So this week we are ending our semester on the Happiness Advantage. Our last chapter is on the ripple effect. So we went from the last few weeks studying social investment and how important it is that all of us have love in our life and that we are supported by friends and family in our community. And interestingly, we talked about how yoga is the one thing that we do that's very much about ourselves and individual. And I always tell you guys, all you need is the yoga mat or a floor, and the only person you can really be doing your yoga practice for is yourself. And yet we all find ourselves here practicing together. And the beautiful thing about this tradition is that not only do we have a teacher and we have the honor of being a student, but we also are fortunate to have a Sangha. So last week I was talking about the beautiful piece we have here at the Shala with the lotus and the two dragons. Maybe T could take a picture of that. The two dragons that are protecting the lotus, which is a piece that I got in Belakupe a few years back in India, it's the second largest Tibetan settlement in India. And it represents the three jewels, and the dragons are protecting the jewels. So what are the three jewels? We did it last week. It's in the video. They were Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So Buddha was awakening to our own Buddha nature, our best version of ourselves. Dharma was the teachings, we protect the teachings, and then Sangha is the community, the spiritual community. So what we've all created here is so much bigger than me. It's so much better than the beauty of the space. It is all of you and what you bring to this space and what you bring to each other. And I have to say, I'm always so grateful of the community that has been created here, and over the years watching how it continues to grow and become more powerful and strong. And I just had a student who had been out for a few weeks, and coming back to it, he said it's like coming into a pool of warm water. The community here just feels so welcoming and important. I love that. So the ripple effect means that we take the good stuff we get from our yoga practice and from our Sangha, from our community, and we spread it. It's contagious. We spread it out there. It's part of our 8 limbs, right? What would you say if I was just to say, what do you think would be part of the 8 limbs, the Ashtanga 8 limbs? Which one do you think would kind of address that issue for us? If we look at the yamas, yeah, the yamas and the niyamas, really, because the yamas are how you are out in the world, and the niyamas talk about how we are with ourselves. So if we're treating ourselves well and taking care of ourselves in our yoga practice, then we're going to be out there in the world and be the best version of ourselves too. So the idea is we want to take all this good health and happiness and bring it to our families and bring it to our friends. But also we talked about the last couple of weeks, just bringing it out to anyone you come in contact with. You know, we looked at John O'Leary being on his way to the airport and making friends with the Uber driver. Like every day we have the opportunity to touch other people. I was kind of using the example, I just think it's funny because even when we're driving our cars, we don't think of it, that's a very solo thing too, but we have an opportunity to touch other people. And I think of how often, you know, we're driving in Orange County or to LA or somewhere where people are just stressed and angry, and you know, and when you're the one that's happy and calm and all zen, and you're like letting people in front of you and waving them in and waving at them. So you know, there's a response, they're like, you know, do I know you? And they're kind of looking again like, right? Or the opposite thing. Sometimes I was saying, last week I forget, I made some car mistake or whatever where you drove in the wrong way or something like that. And someone just got so angry and upset. And I didn't know exactly what they were saying to me, but I knew it wasn't nice. And I remember driving away feeling really bad. You know, like, you know, we have that feeling of, oh, I didn't mean to, and you know, this whole kind of thing. But you realize how much one other person being angry at you, even in another car, has some effect on you. It's contagious. It's that ripple effect, right? So of course, if I had walked in the room today and had been really tired from the night before, and just kind of cranky, you know, with my Shala obligations, and just kind of came in here and was just kind of low energy. And then when class started, maybe I barked at a few of you, like, you guys are off in your vinyasas, you know, and some things like that. you would quickly realize that the energy of the room would drop down, you know? Or the opposite, right? When I come in, I'm happy. I'm like, so glad you guys are here today. And, you know, just that positive, hopefully you guys feel that from me often. You feel that it's contagious, you know. I was saying my 4:30 classes in particular have all kind of become buddies. And when I even walk in the room, they get there before I do. And they're all talking and laughing. And you realize how everyone that walks in the room then is kind of the social event, you know, before class starts. And Sundays are like that too. We're all kind of having a good time. But that happens everywhere in our life. So Sean, in his book, uses examples like in business meetings where they were doing this research study, right, where they have this meeting going on and it's very intense. And then they have these people go in as kind of like the pilot people that go in, and they're the happy people. So they're supposed to go in and just be really positive about whatever's being said in the meeting and all this kind of stuff. And then what happens is the meeting starts to shift, right? And people start to lighten up in the meeting and get more work done, right, or whatever. So we understand how that works. And well, I guess what I want to say to all of you today is I love this quote by Tim, and I say it as many opportunities as I get. My teacher, Tim Miller in Encinitas, he always said, it doesn't make any sense to do a practice like yoga and go out in the world and act like a jerk, right? So, but it's the opposite for us, really. He was just being funny, as he always is. But it makes sense for us to do a practice like yoga and go out in the world and be happy and be positive and be the people that are creating that ripple effect of health and goodness. And sometimes you guys don't even realize it. The number I want you all to walk away from this conference from, you guys know what the number is from Monday? What's the number I want you to walk away from conference from today? If you remember nothing else, I want you to remember this number. What is it? The number 1,000. Because 1,000 is a number that in Sean's research he alluded to, is how many people we can affect. Just by being our happy selves, just by the way you treat someone at the grocery store, just by the way you drive your cars, by the way you treat your kids, all those things, we can actually affect 1,000 people just by being the best version of ourselves. So after practicing today and you guys are going out, just the littlest things you might be doing, sometimes you don't even realize someone is just observing you. They're observing Abby and saying, gosh, that Abby's so positive. I love to be around her. What do you do? Right? And you realize how you don't even know sometimes someone is being affected by you and happier that day. You told Yoshi she looked beautiful in her green shirt, and it made her happy inside, and she went out and, you know, had a little bit better of a day because someone told her how great she looked in green. You know, it's that simple how we affect others. So we'll enjoy our practice together as always, and we'll enjoy going out into the world and making it a happier, better place. Namaste. So our quotes this week to go with our teachings on the ripple effect are both from Mother Teresa, and they're both very simple and beautiful. The problem with the world is that we draw the circle of our family too small. And the second quote, spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. So today, as you go out into your day, spread the love and share the happiness.